Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. So, today I gonna continue my series of touchHLE fix and play videos and streams, and today we gonna work on the game called Ravensword, the Fallen King. And this is quite game what I wanted to make compatible with touchHLE for rather long time, let's say, but there was some issues, some problems. There was a lot of work what needed to be done in order to overcome some API incompatibilities, let's say, and I think finally it's in the state what is not far away from being supported. There was a lot of work what was done by other contributors related to the threading support, to selectors support, to perform selector on the main thread support, etc. So I think I gonna start kinda as usual, and I will just showcase the current state of the game on my work in progress branch, and maybe play a little bit just to show the existing state, and then maybe I will try to code in live in order to fix the game, but we will see how it goes. So this is the main screen, and I believe I want to start a new game. So one thing what you notice, because you cannot really hear it, the music is not playing. Like, this is an existing limitation, and probably I will not be able to fix it today or anytime soon, because there is a lot of limitations related to how touchHLE currently processing the audio. There is a lot of hacks, and I believe the music what is used in this game is in some MP3 format, which is very hacky, has very hacky support right now in touchHLE. So unfortunately we will not have music. We will have some sounds, but yeah. So I'm gonna start new game. I want to erase the progress. Hello. Our land is peaceful one. Well, actually, let me maybe I should use a full screen. So this is an iOS exclusive, and it is an Unity game. So it was quite tricky to get it work, but at least it's working in some sense. A lot of fog. Our land is a peaceful one. Oh no. Well, I didn't want to skip the cutscene, so let me try to relaunch again. Our land is a peaceful one. There is no war or hunger here. To an outsider we appear happy and blessed, but our world is not the same. Strange evil creatures stalk in the night. Neighbors go missing, never to be seen again, and no one has ever seen King in 3 years. We seldom talk of these things for fear of disappearing like the others. We just go on with something. What development environment do you use? Well, I usually use Rust Rover for touchHLE development. Beatrice, don't move too much, you don't have a strength yet. You have had a very rough time. Who are you? Where am I? Well, who are you? My name is Beatrice, or Beatrice. I am closest we have to a doctor here in Avontown. A woodsman found you at the edge of the forest, unconscious and wounded. He brought you to me. I wasn't sure you would live, but you have surprised me. What is your name? Where are you from? I don't know. I'm surprised you don't remember. You were delirious for days. You seem to have terrible dreams too. You kept calling out Ravensword. Did you mean Castle Ravengard? The castle is north of the town, but it's occupied by the demon's minions. They're horrible, evil things. You should stay away from there. What now? Well, I guess you should try to keep busy until you remember who you are. Go downstairs and talk to Donald. He usually has work for people and he also sells foods. Thank you for saving me. You are very welcome, but stay away from the castle at least until you have decent weapons and armor. You can buy what you need from the blacksmith. Goodbye. So, when I was first working on this game, I managed to get by this screen, but where you say goodbye, the collision detection was not implemented properly and you just fall through everything to a black void. Now it was fixed, but I spent a lot more time than expected in order to fixing this problem, and I guess finally it was an issue with the locking mechanism in threads and we had a bug, but once this bug was fixed, it is working as expected. Oh, how it's quite rough, let's say. Tap on Beatrice to talk again. Okay, well, yeah, there is a lot of issues with anti-aliasing, but it's honestly not that bad. So we have this part, you can change camera, you can see an inventory. Beatrice says the Donald has a job for you. Okay, we can move. And you can hear, I hope that you have some sounds, but once again, no music. And we can jump and we can attack. You cannot attack without a weapon. Beatrice, you look a little wobbly, but I guess you will have to do. There is a plate of food on the dresser for later, and take this amulet. You can use it to return to Avontown if you get into trouble. Nice. Tap on the food to pick it up. Okay? Walk to the door to go outside. Okay. Go to see Donald. Yeah, one thing to notice what the graphics is not the best, but actually we can improve it a little bit. Like if I go to settings, actually I can enable shadows and I can again enable foliage. So yeah, I think there was some detection mechanism which detects the currently running device and selects the settings based on the device. But touchHLE right now is emulating the kinda iPod Touch first generation, or maybe the first iPhone first generation. So by default we have a really low profile for the device. But for this game you can actually activate both shadows and foliage in the settings. You can change the brightness, and I think you can go to default settings as well. Yeah. Okay. Cool. A bit better. So I guess I'm gonna try to do the one quest maybe just for fun, and then we can jump into the implementation details, let's say. Hey, do you need a job? I need 5 rats for the dinner rush. I will pay you 10 golds for them, that's twice the usual rate. Will you help me? Yeah, sure. Thank you. The forest is full of rats, so go there and just hunt around until you get 5 and bring them back to me. Here's a club. They have a nasty bite, so give them a couple of whacks before you pick them. Cool, so now I have a weapon and I can attack. So the thing about this game, what you really need to have a controller in order to play, because with a mouse you just have not a lot of space and you need to move back and forth between different buttons, so it's kinda unplayable. Tap on the rat to target it. Okay. Tap on the targeted rat to view its stats. Kill the rat with a club. +7 experience. Oh, and by the way, please tell me if you hear me well, because usually on the streams I have some problems with sounds. So yeah, if you don't hear me, let me know. Okay, I think I can also grab some items here, like this one. Okay, 2 rats been killed. Okay, thanks for confirmation. Yeah, I was not sure because I just updated my version of OBS, and usually it just screw ups your settings. Okay, so I killed 3 rats. I need 2 more. So I think I killed enough rats in order to finish this quest. So let me see. Quests. Dead rat 4. No, I need one more. Cool. I have now reached the necessary levels for completing this quest. Five rats, just what I needed. Thank you everyone. It's from the super value menu tonight. Remember, if you need gold, I will buy rats from you anytime. Okay, so as classic for the old RPGs, you just need to grind your way out for these different missions. No surprise here. You gave Donald 5 rats and he gave you 10 golds. Talk to people around town to find quests. This darn shovel, worthless. What do you want? Go away. Cool. So let me see if I can save. Because I don't really remember how the saving works in this game. So let me just try to end it and see if I can load it again. So it does crash on the P-thread exit, but it doesn't really matter that much. Tap to continue. Okay, so the saving system and loading system seems to work. The quality is a bit worse than I would imagine, but I guess it is expected given the device what we are emulating is really iPhone first generation or iPod Touch first generation. Okay, cool. So let me actually close it and we can kind of jump into the development phase, let's say. So I do have like around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files to modify. Some of them will be more or less easy to fix and some of them will be quite annoying to fix. So let me put some music back and we can jump into the coding phase, let's say. So I'm gonna stash my changes and now I'm back to the trunk version. So if I just run the game, it will crash. Okay, so okay, let me remove the full screen, and I want also to say no pop-up error, so it will not show error, it will just crash. No error pop-up. Yeah. Okay, so the first one is in touchHLE, and it is crashing here on this assert. Let me actually increase a little bit the font here. Increase font size. Yeah, I think it should be a bit better for the readability on the stream. Okay, the first thing what I usually do is just consulting the man pages. No, man pages for the syscalls, I don't remember. Yeah, this one. Let me see. So we have get or set system info. Yeah, sysctl function retrieves system information to allow processes with appropriate privileges to set system information. The information available from sysctl consists of integers, strings, and tables. Information may not be retrieved and set from the command interface using sysctl v8 utility. Blah 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 blah. So we have okay, one thing what we can check as well is to see the reference, and by reference I mean this iPhone with OpenBSD from September of 2009. And so apparently we can have not just 2, but the length like 3, or in this case we have a length of 4 for the parameters. So it can be something like net, inet, IP, TTL. So this is example of a parameter which will have length 4. And what does it want to retrieve? And numerical values are from XNU, BSD, sysctl. Yes, so I guess apparently we need to change this somehow in order to accommodate for different types. So I'm thinking of creating some kind of maybe an enum called sysctl type, I don't know, something like this, and then we can have I don't know, length 2, and it will encapsulate this value I applied a patch for source code book, but the subfolder doesn't contain cpu.h. Where can I get it? Thanks. To be honest, I don't remember. So which, what is your iOS version? And then maybe we can have length 3 and length 4. So let me actually Google Rust enums, because maybe there is a simpler way to do so. Yeah, so apparently I don't really need to do the tuple here, maybe. So it can be just like this, I guess. And then let me actually see if it does compiles. So if I can, if we define it like this, so it's need to be defined this way. Okay. And then we maybe can do something like this. And do it this way. Okay. And probably I can replace it here. The trade bound equal is not satisfied. Okay, well, we can derive equal. We can derive hash as well. What else? What else? Well, let me see for the hash. Yeah, so copy, clone, partial, equality, debug, all of the things I really needed here. Oh, it does implement the copy. Okay, nice. I think I need to rework. I need to rework touchHLE generic. Okay, so here I need to find a way to properly scan this table depending on the name length. And if we go back to the name length, right? The state is described using a management information base style name listed in name, which is a name length array of integers. And what is the F? Once. Yeah, okay, I see. So here I need to do match on the name length. If name length is 2, I will use the same logic as before. So basically I need to copy paste it here, and then I will say what I will say. I will say what touchHLE name len is unimplemented, and I gonna okay, I need to pass it as a formatted thing. Yes? No? Why it's not compiling? So okay, like this. Okay, let me see if it's at least compiling this way. Because it's Rust, it takes time to compile. And I think I forgot to remove the assert. Not implemented. touchHLE4 is not implemented. For length for name length is unimplemented. Okay, so basically we need to do the same thing, but here we will define for, and then we specify this part as tuple of for names. And then we need to fix 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here it will be length 4, and then we need to use name 2 and name 3. And yeah. Also refactor this 2, 3. Okay, let me rerun it again. Yeah, so a lot of time when working with Rust, you are just sitting and waiting for us to compile. It's the Rust life. Okay, so unknown touchHLE parameter 1.14.0.0. So here it should be 1.14.0.0, and I have no idea what does it mean. Okay, xno bsd systl.h. Let me see. So, not quite sure. Like, okay, so for example, CPU frequency. HV CPU frequency. Nice. CPU frequency. And we have something here. So is it CTL HV? Okay, so here CTL HV is 6. So apparently, and this is HV, when we have kern. So kern is probably CTL kern, which is 1 or kern. Here we have 1, 14. So apparently 14 will be related to kern proc, and so what we are looking here is kern dot proc kern proc, and we don't have a lot of information about kern proc, which is strange. Kern proc. So, regarding bans on Discord, don't break our rules and you will be not banned. You know what you did, that's it. So let me check what does kern proc name touchHLE actually does. So we do have a tuple of 11400, which is quite confusing. So I'm gonna say kern proc name with an empty string. I'm not very sure about this one. Okay, let me see if it works this way. Okay, we have a different error, so we do have progress. Okay, I think I'm gonna commit this one as a VIP comment, but on my branch and not on the trunk, because quite honestly I'm not completely sure what application is trying to retrieve from sysctl values. So let me see where we are. We have this. I'm on the trunk. I can do a branch, TMP, Ravensword. Ravensword already exists. Well, let's call it Fallen King. And here we will say whip sysctl for what? For length name for, and we're gonna come back to this one. Okay, now what we have here? We have shim open. So shim open, what does it mean? Open a shared memory object. The shared memory object referenced by name is opened for reading and writing as specified by the argument or flag in the file descriptor returned to the calling process. The returned file descriptor will be the lowest non-open file descriptor for the calling process and not shared with any process, as it's the new file descriptor. The new file descriptor will be fd claw x flag set, repeated call to a shim open with the same string value for name. We will return a file descriptor returning to the same shared memory object. So I'm not quite sure if this is strictly necessary for this particular game to work. As far as I understand how Unity works in this particular case, it tries to create some kind of IPC file in order to communicate between processes. And I don't think this is necessary for our case, so probably we can just say what shim open operation is not supported and return -1. So I think this is what I am planning to do here. So I think I already have a stash. Yeah, so I have this one and I think I'm gonna reuse it. So we're gonna create this, we're gonna grab this function and we're gonna import what's need to be imported. And then we are basically saying, okay, it's not supported, and we're gonna do the same way as here for Madwise. So shim open. That's so let's say name mem string at utf name or flag, and then we're gonna say something like yeah, I think it's gonna work. Let me see. So we run formatter, but this is not really that important. Okay, let me gonna run it again. Okay, so we have some advancement here, and if you look at shim open, we do have our to-do log, and I guess we can also verify it differently. So if we say something like I think there was some kind of flag in order to disable shim open. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it like this, so we can just say something along the lines of stop for shim open. Shared memory object, reference by name, blah 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 blah. Persistent RTL unlinked. Yeah, and -1 is returned, and set or no on failure. Here inval. So I'm not sure. Here inval. So this one, it's for operation not supported, but it's apparently not listed here as error. For operation not supported, inval. It's quite strange. So let me actually double check these into the manual pages from Apple itself. So here we are looking at SHM open. Okay, inval. Okay. Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter which error is set, but documentation seems to insist what inval is used. Okay, let's use inval. Stop for SHM open. Right. So next thing what we have here is pthread key delete. Pthread key delete function deletes a thread specific data key previously returned by pthread key create. The thread specific data values associated with key need to be null at the time that pthread key delete is called. It is the responsibility of application to free any application storage or perform any cleanup actions for data structures related to deleted keys or associated thread-specific data in any threads. This cleanup can be done either before or after pthread key delete is called. Any attempt to use key following the call to pthread key delete returns an undefined behavior. Okay, so for this one, I think we already have a contribution from other people. So here I'm checking the existing pending patch sets in the GitHub. This is a tool service what we are using for the code reviews in touchHLE. There is a lot of pending code reviews, pending patch sets what we need to code review at some point. But I think I remember what someone was already sending. Yeah, so we have this one called pthread key delete, and I guess it is not in the best shape, but I think we can just adapt it. So yeah. So I guess I'm gonna try to cherry pick it locally, and then we can see what we can do with it. Okay, so we have some merge conflicts. Okay, so we need to keep this one. We can remove allow delete code, and I believe I need to set up it here as well. And the correct string value I just gonna copy paste from here because I was already looking this up previously. And then I guess there is a few things what I don't really like about this patch set, and I'm gonna to try to fix it. So in particular, I think the calculation of the indexes is not really that solid. I think I'm gonna just revert some parts of it. Okay, so probably it should work. Let me, oh no, git status. Okay, I should probably say something like, yeah, so git status, git cherry pick continue, and then probably I should also modify this to be correctly attributed. So I meant last comment. We're gonna say what it's captured by me because I did some modification on top of this patch set, and we're gonna also change the change ID. Yeah. So now if we try to run I remember playing this game on Android back in the day, felt like a basic Unity 3D Elder Scroll, but had a lot of fun time with it. Yeah, I think this is one of the examples of the earliest RPG, 3D RPG available on iOS, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, Unity 3D Elder Scrolls, I think this is quite correctly describing the nature of this game. I remember playing it back in 2010s or something, and I think I was stuck at some point because it wasn't really clear how to progress. But then you can actually cheat a little bit in the latest available version of this game. You can select the arbitrary level if you go to the menu and you tap on the build number, I believe, and you open the developer menu will be open, and you can select any level you want, and you can even give you endless money or something like this. Okay, so now we have this crash in the audio queue. Audio queue. I think for this crash it's quite annoying to fix properly because we are not calculating the number of frames which we prime inside the audio queue. But I guess in this particular case we can do a small trick in order for this game to work. So I'm gonna modify the result of this to be a result of void comma void, and here I'm gonna return error, but here I'm gonna return okay. And so basically we have some understanding if this failed because of some unsupported audio format or because of something else. And this way I can do the following. By the way, let me see. So the easiest fix is to just ignore the return, but this will actually be helpful for priming, and we will see in the moment why. So I can basically say match prime, and then I will have a case of okay, and in this case we preserve the original behavior, like we keep our assert and we return success. But if we have error, whatever error we have, we do not assert, we just return -1. And this, I think, gonna work. I need to fix the -1 thingy. But it shall not be a big problem. Okay, so we reached menu and we should have some errors. Yeah, we have an error about priming Q. And yeah, we have our issue, but it's not that important, I guess. So the one thing what I need to actually fix here is what is the correct return code. Because we have audio queue errors and I don't remember which was the function. Let me see again. Audio queue prime. Let me actually consult the documentation. The audio queue is primed. The function decodes encode buffers in preparation for feedback. It returns when at least one of the number of audio sample frames specified are decoded and ready to play. Or if you pass 0, when all encode buffers are decoded. Okay, audio queue prime. Now I just need to figure out what is the correct correct error code. So we have audio queue error, invalid buffer empty, disposal pending, invalid property, invalid parameter, cannot start, invalid device, buffer and queue, invalid run state, invalid queue type, invalid property, value. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this one. And yeah, can start. Supported audio format. Cannot prime audio cue. Warning, cannot prime audio cue. Okay. So let me run some formatting. And I think I'm gonna commit this one. Let's say gracefully handle audio cue prime errors on unsupported formats. Gracefully handle audio cue prime errors on unsupported formats. If number of prepared frames needs to be returned. Gracefully handle audio cue prime errors on unsupported formats if number of prepared frames needs to be returned. If number of prepared frames needs to be returned. Okay. So, and I think I'm gonna cherry pick, just cherry pick in our comment what I need. Wages. Okay. Okay, and I think now we are back to the loading state for the game. Good day, friend. If you like to make some money, come back here with a bow. You can buy one from the blacksmith. Okay. Dust, it's everywhere. On my skin, in my hair. Welcome to Torpin Estate. Feel free to stroll about the grounds and marvel the grandness of my domicile. Always perfection except for little detail that I haven't been able to sort out. Maybe I could help. Well, if you really will need a bow and arrows to help me, but thanks for asking. And I think there's some powerful enemies around here. Okay, so let me see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 comments. Okay, cool. So I think I'm gonna clean up all of that off stream. Because I was already streaming for 1 hour and 30 minutes and I'm a bit tired and the commits still need to be cleaned. But yeah, I think in very near future this game should be supported in the trunk build of touchHLE, but there is still some work what need to be done. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap up here. Do people have any questions for me about touchHLE, about this game, or about anything? Congrats for getting in-game to this. It's not the game what I thought, haha. It was Shadowlands. Yeah, I think Shadowlands was the sequel, but this is for later versions of iOS. So I think there is still quite a lot of work what need to be done in order to support later versions of Ravensword. Yeah, well. Was really the beginning of those games. Okay, so once again, thank you everyone who joined today's stream and see you next time.